The future me?
Yeah, the future you that's going to be looking back on this.
I hope that you realize your self-worth, and I hope that you found the peace and joy that you've always been looking for.
It didn't feel hard at the time. It just felt like something that was normal, that I would just wake up every day, my best friends are white, this is how it is, it's fine. You're the token black girl in your group of friends. And then looking back now, I just realized that I didn't have many examples of what being black and being beautifully black meant, because I didn't have any of those examples. So that's hard to accept now, just as, because I'm still going back to thinking, well, I know what other people find beautiful, and if I'm not that, then I'm not beautiful. So whenever you're ready. Cool. What was the first question again? Well, I grew up in this area a lot, so I was always surrounded by, white people. So all my friends were white. Everyone that I saw had either light brown hair or blonde hair, blue eyes. So I was like, okay, this is what people perceive as pretty. This is what normal is. And I always felt like I wasn't normal because I had all of these friends who didn't look like me at all. So that was hard on me, and I don't think I realized that as a child, but looking back now, I know that is the reason why I have so much insecurities growing up. It's the reason that my self-harming started. It's because I had all of this negativity in me that was just there because of my surroundings. It didn't start until I was around 19 when I was like, okay, well, there's very different variations of beauty, because knowing me, I know who I am, and I see so much beauty in a lot of different people. So if I can see beauty in other people, why can't I see it in myself? There's so much beauty in everything. You can't say, okay, this is the one staple for beauty. If nothing else looks like this, then it's not beautiful. And it's hard for a lot of people to accept that, especially if you're not white. It's like, it's really hard living in a world where people are constantly telling you have to look like this, you have to have this skin color, your hair has to look this way. It's a long journey for a lot of people, not even just girls, men too. But my problem is I have my ups and I have my downs. It's not a constant state of just being happy with myself. It's realizing the bad parts of myself and having to grow up with those parts of myself, and realizing that even though there's good and bad in everything, I believe. So you have to take the bad with the good and realize that you still may have these qualities that aren't necessarily great, but you have great ones that outweigh that. It helps so much to get off your chest, and even if the problem isn't solved, getting it off your chest still lifts this huge weight off of you, and you feel like that you can breathe, you can get on with your day, you can move on to tomorrow, the rest of the week, and find a way to deal with it in a healthier process. I'm with myself for the rest of my life, so I have to love myself, or I'm just going to spend the rest of my life hating who I am or what I was given, and that I'm not going to be able to do all the things I want to do if I'm constantly having this battle with myself, when there's so many other important things I could be doing, like improving my writing, improving how I do my singing, my voice, my acting. There's so many things that I want to do that I don't have room to focus on hating myself Like I have this entire list of all these goals I want to do. I want to write a book. I want to make an album. Like I have to find a way to get rid of this self-hatred so I can move on with everything that I want to do.
I really need to turtle down. I heard on my new Miss Booty need a girl. My new shit sound like yours, rehearsal. Got me ducking up, yeah, ducking up. You so fucking raw, damn. Now we fucking raw. Drop my fucking jump, drop.
Hello. Welcome to Malique's Room. When I was younger, I did not love myself at all. I felt like I was only put on this earth to be a sex object for men. I thought that was all I was ever going to be because of, you know, the way I was shaped and this is the things I went through as a kid. And I was like, that's pretty much what I'm here for. I don't know, I didn't think that I was like worth being like in people's lives. I thought I'd cause more trouble and more harm than I did good. I felt like if I wasn't there, like my mom would have been better off. I felt like, you know, my dad wasn't there because of me. I thought it was all my fault, and it's just all of that combined caused me to feel like I wasn't like worthy of living. I felt like I was just a waste of space. So I write myself letters. I used to write letters to God because I felt like when I talked, he didn't hear me because I just was so shy, and I'm like, he probably can't hear me, I'm not being loud enough. So I would write letters like, all right, God, like, I don't know what's wrong with me, but like, if you love me, like, you know, apparently you do, can you like help me because I'm so fucking lost. When I was a kid, I literally felt so alone. Every time I tried to talk about it with anyone, it was just like, what, like, you're crazy? What do you mean you can't control your emotions? I'm like, no, guys, you don't understand. Like, I could be so fine and I hear one word and it completely ruins the rest of my day. And like, and my uncle was bipolar, so I'm like, maybe I have what Uncle Nelson has, and no one ever listened to me. My childhood was just miserable all the way up until I was like, my whole life was just miserable until I was like 23 probably. Like every day was just like suffocating every day. I didn't feel like I had an outlet. Like I was always into different things when I was younger. I was always into like art and like just stuff that most people around me weren't into, you know. So I felt like an outcast already. And so I just felt like I didn't know how to channel those emotions, so I just kept them bottled inside, and it made me a very angry person. I don't believe in violence against human beings, but like I would punch holes in walls, and like my knuckles would have, I probably still have scars all over my hands because I would just punch walls, and like I would do very self-destructive things like drugs, alcohol, all that, all because I didn't know what else to do. I'm like, all right, whatever's I think is gonna help me in this 1 second, I'm just gonna try it and see what happens. I had a lot on my shoulders at a very young age, and because of that, I felt like I couldn't speak up about stuff I was feeling because I felt like I was always just seen as like crazy or like, what the fuck, Malique's complaining again about something that doesn't matter. I felt like I was screaming for help and no one could hear me. That's how it felt. I felt like I was screaming at the top of my lungs and no one could hear me, so eventually I just gave up and I was like, alright, well. No one was willing to understand me, and it caused me to question myself. It made me feel like, okay, maybe I am crazy, like maybe I am fucked up. Like I would watch those TV shows of people in like the crazy house, I'm like, damn, like maybe I'm one of those people. Like maybe I need to go check into like a hospital or something and like get in a straitjacket until my mind gets right. I was like, I don't understand, I can't comprehend why everyone thinks that I'm so crazy. I was like, I can't be the only one that feels like this. But that's how I felt. Like I'm like all alone. I never knew anyone else that felt like the same way I did. So that got me in the idea of, okay, eventually you have to face it. Even if it's not today, even if it's not tomorrow, the only way you're gonna get better is if you sit in your room by yourself and just deal with the shit. It made it easier for me to like get over everything from my past, everything from my childhood, everything that ever hurt me, putting it into like this one like being almost. And instead of taking it out on myself, taking it out on that being. You know what I mean? Instead of getting pissy drunk because I just want to forget about whatever's bothering me and then in the morning still waking up crying about it. Instead of doing all that, just sitting there and facing whatever the demon is and letting it go, you know? Because it's just, to me, it's not even fun anymore. It's not fun getting drunk. It's not fun being like so out of your mind that you're not even you. You know, I like, the thing is, I've come to love myself so much that I love being me completely and totally. I don't like anything deterring me from who I am, because I've learned to love how like amazing I am naturally, flaws and all. Whether I'm upset, whether I'm in a good mood, a bad mood, whether I'm being fucking typical ass, weird ass, goofy Malik and doing some shit that's embarrassing probably, like, I've learned that, you know, I'm a fire ass individual, I'm an amazing woman, and I think anyone would be lucky to be around me in my sober mind and who I am. You trying to kill yourself, all of that is not worth it, because you are and always have been the most amazing human being on this planet. And anyone could tell you otherwise. Anyone could tell you, no, I'm the most amazing human. Yeah, they should feel that way. But you are the best Malique Graves that will ever walk the face of this earth. And that's what you need to remember. Remember who you are. Stay true to your truths. Stay true to yourself. And stay true to your own heart. And if you take that in life and you walk with those words, there's literally nothing you can't do. There's nothing you can't overcome. There's nothing you can't accomplish. You are it. Like, you're everything. So act like it. Act like it. How do you feel? You still nervous?
No, I feel kind of better. Just like, because I feel like speaking about it makes you realize, like, damn, like, that's how I used to be. And, like, you realize so much change in your life. Like, because I'm a type of person that I'm like, man, I'm the same person as before. Like, I haven't changed at all. But then, like, speaking about it to you, it's kind of like, oh shit, Michelle, like, you have grown. Like, you're not, I don't know. And it makes me feel proud of myself. And I feel like that's a big thing, because, like, I never give myself credit with anything. I'm just kind of like, like, you ain't shit. Like, I can be really mean to myself. And I'm just like, no. Like, you actually worked hard, and you got somewhere. And good job. Good job, Michelle. And that's, like, that's just how I feel now. I feel proud of myself. And it's a good feeling.
Ayo, this your recording or what up?
I guess it all started as early as elementary school. Just being around, like, I'm very observant, and I would just like see how other people would act, and like how they would judge other people based on their looks and stuff like that. And like that's when I realized it was very important to other people, and like just like beauty in general, and how they would say like, oh, this person's pretty, this person's not, look at their face, look at their nose, their eyes, just like what they don't like, and everything that they don't like is me. And that's what I felt like. The biggest part it affected me was like my hair. I would straighten it every single day. Like no one ever saw my curly hair until the last day of junior year in high school. Like no one was wearing their natural hair. Everyone was just trying to cover up like how they naturally looked. And so I was like, okay, then that's what people find pretty. That's what would make people like me. Like I would hate like walking to the bus in the morning when it would be humid, and my straight hair would get all frizzy, and I'm just like, fuck, like everyone's gonna see like my hair, my curly hair, and how big it is. It looks so ugly. So yeah, like it would just be like an everyday struggle. Like literally no one even knew. Some people didn't even know my hair was curly. They would just be like, oh, I thought your hair was naturally straight. Like I'm like, well, like you really think like me? Like no. I feel like I'm Puerto Rican, so like they can be very judgmental like within their own race and like ethnicity and stuff. And whenever I would wear my hair out big, they'd be like, oh my gosh, Michelle, like what are you, like you need to like tame it down and stuff. So that would also affect me too. Even like being fat too, like they would just like, my nickname is Goldie, which means like fatty, but it's like out of love, but it's also like, damn, like you guys are like calling me fat like every time I see you guys. So I would just like wear a lot of like big shirts, oh my god, I remember, and just cover myself up a lot. I don't know, and I was just in the like a lot of Hunters Creek kids came to my school, so none of them really look like me. So yeah, like all the girls would be very slim, straight hair. So I'm just like, damn, like I need to look like that too. Like I don't fit in. Like honestly, like this is the first year I ever have a boyfriend, and I'm 20 years old. And like I never let that like affect me, but at the same time it was like, damn, like why not? Like why hasn't it happened yet? And I would always just put myself in the friend zone because I was too scared to ever even like, I'm not gonna tell anybody I like them. Like how would they ever like me? Like they'll never look at me in that way. other than like a friend, like, oh, she's cool, like, you know. It wasn't until on it like senior year where I was like, okay, Michelle, like, oh yeah, you're decent, you're okay, like, you're not that ugly. Like, honestly, I feel like my insecurities with my looks even affected my friendships, like, because girls, they always want to be friends with the popular ones, the pretty ones, because the pretty ones ended up being the popular ones. So it was just like, I've had incidents where even the smallest things, like, they would leave the lunch table from sitting with me just to sit with them, and like I was left alone, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll just be like, damn, like, I would do anything for you, like, you're my friend, and they would leave me like that, like, just because popularity, or like I'm not cool enough because I'm not pretty enough, you know? I guess I didn't make that challenge for myself to like gain my own personality, or like get out of my own like insecure shell. Like, I'll just be like, oh, I have my brother, and of course, since they like him, they'll like me because I'm his little sister, you know what I mean? Like, like they won't care, like, anything. So I never had to like do things by myself or like face my fears due to the insecurities. But I would be very envious. Like, in middle school and high school, if I saw someone like how I wanted to be, it would kind of be like hate. Even with my brother, like, honestly, it would just be like, oh, like, why does everyone like you? Like, I hated that I wasn't like him. I hated that I couldn't be as confident as him. My brother was gone, and that was like really hard because, again, like, he was like my shelter, you know. Him not being there pushed me that I need to go do my own stuff. Like, I have to, because I don't want to be here alone. I don't want to be on Moby. Like, I want friends. I want to go out. I want to have fun. But what I was so confused by is, like, it gave me confidence. Like what we talked about, how, like, when you feel your lowest, you feel like this urge of like, I want to get up, like, I want to show like what I have, like my strength. I had to be like, Michelle, like, no, you're worth it. Like, no, like, don't let this like pull you down so much or whatever. So it's kind of just like all self-taught. Like, I was just like, okay, like, I have to get up because I don't want to feel like this anymore. I wore my hair curly like that whole year, and people would always be like, oh, I love your hair, and I'm just like, oh, thank you. Or like, I love what you're wearing today. I'm like, oh, thank you. Like, it was just like really, like, they didn't know what they were doing. And I was also like building my own friends, like, by myself, like, just like a raw friendship, like no connections or anything to anybody else. And people were fucking with me, like, they're like, I could see like they wanted to hang out with me, like, oh, like, what are you doing today, like, whatever. And I'm like, oh wow, like, they like me, like, that's weird. So yeah, that's what like really helped me, and just the people that I've surrounded myself with too, because I've learned how to. I noticed that when I was in high school, since I was sad, that's what I was bringing to me, just people with more issues, and I would always just try to help people to hide dealing with my own issues. That's like I'm still working with that too, because I love helping people, I love being there for people, but I have to be there for myself too. I can't forget about myself. So I'm just trying to surround myself with better people that are trying to see me grow, and I'm trying to see them grow. It's just like a mutual relationship of growth in general. I feel like the best advice I could give myself is just do you. Like, don't compare yourself to all these other people, because you are a unique individual, and why are you trying to be like other people when you're not like them? And you should embrace like all the different things that you have to bring to this world to people. You're beautiful. Like, don't ever question it. And when I felt alone when my brother left, I was just telling myself that, like, you got this. Like, don't ever like question your strength. Even when you feel weak, like, you're strong enough to pick yourself up again. From the book of Sarah, literally that's like the first thing. When Solomon, he's like, all is well. I remember like when I read that, I'm like, damn, like, it's just that simple. Like, all is well, like, everything is okay. Like, don't hype things up in your head, making something a bigger issue than it is, and causing yourself more anxiety and just pain. Like, all is well, you can get through it, and that's it. Yeah.
My job was like, could you stay until 6? And
that's none of my business.
I went in at 6 in the morning.
That's none
and I was like, y'all got me dead wrong. Because I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Growing up, I didn't think I was like pretty or like, I don't know, anything special. I remember, for instance, this boy on the bus called me ugly, so I went to cry at the lake and my mom got so mad at me. And she didn't understand why, so she just kind of yelled at me for like being like weak. But no one instilled, or I didn't know that I was supposed to like love myself. It's kind of something I have like learned recently, like in the past 2 years, that I'm supposed to love myself. I mean, I don't know, I kind of just didn't like myself until, even like recently, my last relationship was pretty bad. So when I got out of that, I finally found like the self-importance of loving yourself and knowing you're popping without anyone else telling you that you're popping. Like, you have to fuck with yourself before anyone else fucks with you. And I dated this said boy for like 2 years, but it was awful. Like I kind of just stayed because I was like comfortable, and I was like, oh, if like who's gonna love me after this kind of thing. Like, he loves me, who's gonna love me after this? Or not love, but you know, he's infatuated with me right now, who's gonna be infatuated with me after? And I didn't see anyone else fall in love with me or anything like that, so I kind of like clinged on to it. It kind of just sucked because I realized I depended on someone else for my happiness, and I realized I depended on this person to make me feel pretty, make me feel this, make me feel that. And during this, like, I dated him for 4 years. During this period of time, I stopped all my art. I didn't do anything like art-wise because I was like focused on the wrong things, I guess. After the breakup, after like a month of just like kind of crying, I kind of noticed that like, hey, if I have to make myself feel poppin', like I'm like so genuine, I'm so nice, like I just was kind to myself and patient with myself. Yeah, the only thing I knew that was like I was pretty okay at was my ability to like draw or stuff like that, any art. I mean, I knew I was kind of like artistically inclined more than the other students, so that's something that I've you know, used as an outlet. And also in the relationship, I only hung out with him like literally every day. So when I got out of it, I made new friends, and these friends made me feel so great about myself. I'm so grateful for everyone I've met in this past year. I've made so many friends. They're all so great. They've taught me, like, each individual person has taught me something different, something I'll probably need, something, you know. I've just have blossomed, and these people have become opportunities for me for self-love. You know how you kind of have like a phase? I've had like friend phases, and I mean, I'm still like in contact with all these people, but each individual like phase kind of taught me something, a lesson. So like, you know, I feel like everything is, well, not everything is coincidence, nothing's coincidence. So yeah, definitely these people have taught me what they have to teach me. I took from them, I hope they took from me, and yeah, so that's a big step or a big tool in my self-love. Like, hey, you're gonna be okay, you're the best you can be. Like, you are honestly such a, well, people love, something I've noticed is like people love being around me, like they've told me, and it's just like, wow, like people fuck with me, like it's great. And back then I didn't think like anyone even thought I was cool, even like, you know, thought of me. So I just want to tell, like, I don't know, little old me that that everything's gonna be okay, and you're gonna be just literally focus on yourself. Focus on your art, focus on school and grades. I mean, it's still an everyday battle. Right now I'm actually focused on kind of purging like gross foods and stuff. That, like, physical self-love. Emotionally, I'm coolin'. Like, I know, like, if I'm having a bad day, I won't like spaz out how I used to, or just like manifest those feelings into like negative, self-destructive tendencies I used to do. Instead, I just like cry or go into art. But it's still a battle every day, kind of. Not a battle, but it's a journey. Sometimes I fall off, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just like, you know, all my bullshit, like I don't want to do anything. Like, some things I read about like my what astrology, you know, the things that usually inspire me don't even like I can't even read or I can't even get into. And to be honest, that's okay. I'll let myself sulk a little bit, but it's not a pity party. Like, I have to, you know, get up after I'm done sulking for a little bit. So yeah, that's where I'm at. It's going, but I think big things are coming for me soon. I'm really confident in myself.
But remember, you are somewhat lucky, maybe even blessed. You have a bedroom that's just your size, a bathtub filled with honey, a heart the size of Alaska, but not as Arctic, and do not diminish your dark past, your bruised fingertips, weary knees, and weeping ankles. Your problems are origamis you made or bought because the stand at the market was so compelling. You just had to have them like you had to have him, and you did. You pulled down the bridge between your homes and crossed the field to his throat. But where is the lover who won't take you for granted? Where is the lover who looks at you like magic? Please make the first swig of whiskey in this place a memento. Place it on any altar that reaches God. Bring a knife and some grapefruit, but don't lose too much weight. Don't ignore a growling stomach. Stupid girls are always trying to disappear as revenge, and you are not stupid. You just loved a man with more hands than a parade of beggars, and here you stand. Heart like a four-poster bed, heart like a sculpture, heart leaking something so strong that you can't help but love again and again and again. If you are silent, roses will grow in your vocal cords and corals. Your throat can become a fragile garden, never to be destroyed by a whisper. But if leaving is not enough, I will claim God, then fiend God for each piece that ever went missing. Because as a woman that you are, we are, will be claimed and chanting in the rain of the tears from when we almost thought we had lost ourselves. But really, we have only became glued back together again.